Legacy of Empire: the Ottoman domination of the Balkans for over 5 centuries. The Balkan Peninsula was under the rule of the Ottoman Empire, a period that profoundly shaped the region's political structure, religious landscape, languages, and everyday life. The story of Ottoman domination in the Balkans is not only one of military conquest, but also of deep cultural transformation, administrative integration, and the coexistence, sometimes peaceful, sometimes tense, of multiple communities and identities. The Ottoman expansion into the Balkans began in the mid-14th century, during the decline of the Byzantine Empire and the fragmentation of the medieval Balkan states. The Ottomans, emerging as a powerful state from Anatolia, first crossed into Europe around 1354, after securing the fortress of Gallipoli. This initial foothold marked the beginning of a sweeping campaign of conquest. Major victories followed quickly. In 1371, the Ottomans defeated a coalition of Serbian nobles at the Battle of Marisa, and in 1389, the decisive Battle of Kosovo further crippled Serbian resistance, marking a symbolic moment in Balkan and Ottoman history alike. By 1396, the defeat of a European crusader army at the Battle of Nicopolis confirmed Ottoman supremacy in the region. Over the following decades, the empire absorbed much of Bulgaria, Serbia, and Albania. Bosnia fell in 1463, Herzegovina in 1483, and even parts of Hungary came under Ottoman rule after the Battle of in 1526. By the 16th century, the Ottoman Empire had secured nearly the entire Balkan Peninsula, establishing administrative units known as eyalet and sanjaks that integrated local territories into the imperial system. The Ottomans introduced an efficient tax system, land distribution policies under the Timur system, and a legal framework rooted in Islamic law, but adapted for a multi-religious society. The empire maintained local elites in administrative roles when possible. And while it was an Islamic empire, it allowed a degree of autonomy to its non-Muslim subjects through the millet system, which granted religious communities the right to govern their own personal affairs. One of the most significant and lasting impacts of Ottoman rule was the religious transformation of parts of the Balkans. While the Ottomans did not forcibly convert populations en masse, conversion to Islam was incentivized through social and economic benefits, including tax relief, property rights, and access to imperial administration. Over time, significant Muslim populations emerged, particularly in Bosnia, Albania, parts of Kosovo, and Western Macedonia. Mosques, dervish lodges, and Islamic schools became prominent features of many Balkan towns. However, the Ottoman religious legacy in the Balkans was never homogeneous. The region remained deeply diverse, with large Orthodox Christian populations in Greece, Serbia, Bulgaria, and Romania, as well as Catholic communities in Croatia and parts of Bosnia. This religious pluralism shaped Balkan identity and politics for centuries, and it continues to influence regional dynamics to this day. The cultural influence of the Ottoman Empire on the Balkans extended beyond religion. Ottoman architecture became a defining feature of the urban landscape. Cities like Sarajevo, Skopje, Bitola, Idorn, and Plovdiv still bear the marks of Ottoman urban planning. Central bazaars, mosques with slender minarets, public baths, caravanserais, fountains, and bridges. Many of these structures were commissioned by wealthy patrons or built under the guidance of imperial architects, blending Islamic and Byzantine styles in a uniquely Balkan Ottoman form. In daily life, the culinary traditions of the Balkans were transformed through centuries of Ottoman influence. Many of the region's most beloved dishes today, such as brek, alma, kebab, and baklava, have their roots in Ottoman cuisine. Turkish coffee, introduced through Ottoman trade routes, became a ritual across the Balkans, often prepared and consumed in ways unique to each culture. Linguistically, the Ottoman period left a lasting imprint on the languages of the region. While Turkish never replaced local languages, it introduced a substantial number of loanwords, particularly in areas of governance, military, trade, cuisine, and domestic life. In Serbian, Bosnian, Bulgarian, Albanian, and even Greek, many Ottoman-era words are still in use today. Some examples include korba, doma, kazak, karsef, and bakel, among many others. Even the legal and social organization of the Balkans was influenced by centuries of Ottoman administration. The concept of land tenure under the Timur system, patterns of urban-rural division, guild structures in cities, and the institutional memory of Ottoman bureaucracy affected. Successor states were organized long after the empire withdrew. In many cases, the transitional elites of the 19th century had been educated or trained under Ottoman norms. Despite this deep integration, the Ottoman presence in the Balkans was also marked by tension, resistance, and periodic rebellion, where Christian populations often chafed under Muslim rule, especially as nationalist ideologies began to rise in the 18th and 19th centuries. Uprisings in Serbia, Greece, Bulgaria, and elsewhere were met with brutal crackdowns, but ultimately signaled the unraveling of Ottoman control. The 19th century saw the gradual retreat of the empire, with Balkan nations gaining independence one by one, culminating in the Balkan Wars, which removed nearly all Ottoman presence from Europe, save for a small portion around modern-day Istanbul. Yet even as the empire withdrew, its legacy endured and continues to endure. In music, food, family traditions, religious practice, and urban form, traces of Ottoman life remain part of the fabric of Balkan society. The Ottoman period is viewed with complexity. For some, it is a time of oppression and lost sovereignty. For others, a period of coexistence, cultural flowering, and shared heritage. Today, the Balkans stand as a region shaped by layers of history, and the Ottoman Empire remains one of the most defining and longest-lasting of those layers. Its legacy lives not only in the mosques and palaces it left behind, but in the languages people speak, the meals they share, and the ways they remember their past.